right on.
So you have that upbringing, and then you end up going into schooling, Frostburg State, right? Into
Frostburg
Cornell,
State.
into what
Well,
was
we
it?
got to be specific though. I went to the Africana Studies and Research Center under the founding director, the late great Dr. James Turner, at Cornell.
Okay,
But we need to be clear about. I just like to be clear about that. And then I went on and got a
University of Maryland.
PhD in University of Maryland. So, but like Ward Churchill said, and this has been my experience, you go to undergrad, you think you know everything. You go to graduate school, you realize you know nothing, and then you go to get a PhD, and you realize nobody knows anything. So,
So
and
what
that's
was that? What was
perfect.
that experience like for you? You know, did it wake you up? Or it sounds like your mom and dad already kind of put you up on a lot of information anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I mean, I don't want to overdo it, but I was sort of raised in a certain context with a certain sort of frame for in favor of Black liberation, workers' rights, etc. But uh, I still had a lot to work to do. But it was, I, but that was, that's pretty much what started me on the path. But then it took an interruption in a 4-year sentence in the military, and where I was really introduced to the work of Malcolm X primarily, and then that sort of was as like for many of my generation, the gateway into Black radicalism. Uh, and then, so by the time I went to college, I was already quote unquote awake. I just needed, still need the sort of ongoing study and finishing touches put on that. But
yeah.
yeah,
So I think it's always interesting, right? Because of how highly valued Ivy League education is, right? And you have your master's from an Ivy League school, but until people like yourself start to go a different route from a lot of other Ivy League educated people, then they start to act like, well, you're just rogue. So we kind of try to disregard the stuff that you say, even though other people that might have gone to school with you, we highly value what they say. So how you feel about that? Them trying to kind of discount you?
yeah. I mean, it's just politics. If and that's uh, so. I mean, you summarized it perfectly. It's not the credentials, so to speak. It's the argument. So if yeah. So if I say something people disagree with, and then they say, well, you don't have the right credentials, or you've used them incorrectly, or you, again, like you said, you are an exception to the rule, and which is usually the case, we'll just find someone else from those institutions, and there are plenty at this point who can say what we want said in the way we want it said. So, but uh, my time at the Africana Studies and Research Center, more than anything, I wouldn't say it woke me up, but it more than anything prepared me intellectually for what that kind of struggle would be, because it introduced me and helped me to study a lot of the scholars who uh, will always be superior to me in their scholarship, but who suffered similarly or worse. So it just sort of, and not in a way to discourage or to terrify, but in a way to inspire. That's what those 2 years for me at the Africana Center did. So I felt largely prepared, although colonies and colonizers are quite capable of still offering up one or another surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.